good afternoon again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sister.
Let us start with a prayer again. Now we pray for the world peace, peace in our heart, peace in our country. I use the prayer of the Saint Francis. In the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. O Divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, to be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive. It is in pardoning that we are pardoned. And it is in dying that we are born to eternal life. Amen. Okay, let us welcome our speaker, Geraldine. Yeah, before the start, we have a little short already about Geraldine. She is a graduate of us and also still study with us.
Yeah.
So many credentials you read already. So let's start. Geraldine, you want to say something?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone. So just a bit introduction again with myself. So I am Geraldine Tambong from SMIC Batch 2. Right now, I have my certification as a certified acupuncturist here in the Philippines. But further studies, I'm still doing an SMIC at the same time, finishing my master's degree in Tianjin University of Traditional Chinese Medicine, which is an affiliated school of SMIC. So for today, we're gonna discuss or talk about on how to take care of your heart in TCM. I hope you get a bit of learnings in regard of this discussion or like topic, but at the same time, you according to SMIC like discretion, you always consult first with your physician before doing any specific treatment for your health, especially for the heart. So thank you, and we're gonna start for today. Thank you, Sister Michelle. Hi, good day, everyone. My name is Geraldine Tambong. I'm a certified acupuncturist and acupuncture detoxification specialist, taking my master's degree in Tianjin, China, which is an affiliated school of SMIC Institute of Traditional Chinese Medicine. For today, I'm your guest speaker on how to take care of your heart in traditional Chinese medicine. But at the same time, the objective of this talk is not only to know how we can take care of our heart in traditional Chinese medicine, but at the same time, we have like an overview in regards of the difference or the similarities of it from the Western medicine. So thank you for your time for joining me today in this quick lecture that is like a COVID webinar series from the SMIC. So we all know from the Western medicine that a lot of diseases coming from the Philippines or like around the world, we talk about that cardiovascular disease is one of the most common of it. But at the same time, we first describe or discuss what is heart or how the heart function in the Western medicine field and in the traditional Chinese medicine. For the Western medicine, it is a fist-sized organ and irregularly conical in shape. It is a primary organ in circulatory system with 4 chambers made of muscle and powered by electrical impulses. It's like a pump that generates pressure to transport blood throughout the body. It controls the rhythm and speed of your heart rate, and maintains the blood pressure. It receives the deoxygenated blood and carrying metabolic waste products from the body and pumping it to the lungs for oxygenation. So meaning that in Western medicine that from the heart, it says more on the circulatory system, which has a lot of network of blood vessels such as the arteries, the veins, and the capillaries that carries all the blood throughout your body, which contains the oxygen and the nutrients which is being processed as well as like in the blood circulation. But in traditional Chinese medicine, it says that the heart as the monarch of all organs in TCM, meaning this monarch or like an emperor who houses all the Sangfu organs we are pertaining to, or like the heart has the interrelationship with different organs in traditional Chinese medicine. It is also known as a yin organ which produce and regulate vital such as blood, body fluids, and qi. Yin organ to the sense that heart is a solid organ, which is one of the 5 sung in traditional Chinese medicine. The heart also as the root of life, the seat of Shen, the master of blood, and the commander of the vessels. Meaning the heart also function in traditional Chinese medicine. It houses in the mind and it masters the blood, which like the same with the circulatory system that pushes blood or governs blood all throughout our body. The sense organ of the heart is the tongue, a reflection you can see if a person has a healthy heart organ. Because in traditional Chinese medicine, it is important that a practitioner or a physician knows how to do the 4 pillars of traditional Chinese medicine. One of it is like checking the tongue of the patient, which reflects if the patient has a different health condition in traditional Chinese medicine. But in Western medicine, we can see that some of the diagnosis and assessment, like the auscultation, checking if the different sounds of the heart, if a patient has a disease or don't have a problem inside the heart. At the same time, laboratories like ECG and to the echo are the most common that we can detect if there are some irregularities in the heart. Another one is the fluid of the heart is perspiration. Perspiration to the sense if the patient is sweating a lot, even if he or she is like sitting only, it means that the patient has a deficient heart. Like in Filipino, medyo mahina yung takbo ng puso, lalo na sa pag-pump ng blood sa iba't ibang parte ng katawan. Okay? Here is like a summary picture like what heart functions in Chinese medicine. These can serve for you to remember that in TCM, or if you know a person like from your family or friends, you can use this like image to remember how the heart functions in Eastern medicine style. It says here it controls blood circulation, controls the sweat, which is because heart fluid is the perspiration. It opens in the tongue and affects the speech. But in opening in the tongue and affects the speech, you always remember that the heart, you look in the tip of the tongue. to see if there is like a problem in the heart of the patient. The heart also in charge of happiness and joy. It manifests on the face. Like if patient, you can see like they have like a rosy cheek or like a pinkish cheek. It can means that the heart of an individual has good functioning. It also controls blood vessels and pulse strength, like with the heart rate and the pulse rate. So it houses the mind, the mental activity, memory, and sleep. We're gonna talk about what are the three top things that the heart really focuses in Chinese medicine. As well as we're gonna talk about how the traditional Chinese medicine style um, we look after or we take care of the heart. But at the same time, this one, I'm only showing you the acupuncture points or the acupuncture meridians for the heart because it's more on the heart Shao Yin meridians because we talk about that a heart is a yin organ. So from the heart 1, from the Jichuan or the highest spring, the heart 2, the Qingling and the science spirit, the heart 3 is the Shaohai, lesser C. The heart 4 is the Lingdao, the spirit pathway. The heart 5 is the Tongli, penetrating the interior. The heart 6, Yin Shis, Yin Clip. Heart 7, the Shenmen and spirit gate. Heart 8 is the Shaofu and lesser mansion. And heart 9 is the Shaochong lesser church. The channels in which qi flows are called meridians. According to Chinese medicine, the quality and movement of qi through the body determines your health. The ideal state is one of the smooth flow with no imbalances or blockages like the stagnant qi. If you have stagnation, whether that's physical, emotional, or spiritual, these will eventually manifest as disease. In traditional Chinese medicine, the heart meridian or the heart pathway is one of the common points we use in the acupuncture. Because we tend to see that a lot of people right now, especially in COVID times, are suffering from anxiety, depression, panic attacks, which is really disturbed their shen. Like their heart has some deficient blood. The heart meaning as having a hard time to pump enough blood through to the brain of an individual. Because some of the symptoms of a heart hand Shaoyin in the acupuncture points, if you see, like in a local area, it's more on the arm pain or stiffness on the medial aspect of the forearm, a weak wrist, or a hot or cold sensation in the arm. It can also, you can see that some of the muscles are like inflamed as well. But this can relate that the heart, that there is like stagnant blood in that area. So we use some acupuncture points from the heart Shaoyin meridian to release that stagnant blood in the meridian. This one is one of the most important we talk about, the heart chi or the heart energy. Chi means energy because the heart is in charge of pumping blood around the body and regulating blood flow, the circulatory system in Western medicine. The strength of heart chi determines if the pumping action is strong and healthy, which is reflected in the rhythm and rate of the pulse. An individual will appear healthy as energetic, having a rosy complexion and a rhythmic, forceful pulse. Okay? The inquiry in traditional Chinese medicine. The inquiry is one of the 4 pillars of the diagnosis in traditional Chinese medicine. Why is it important? Is it This is important for a practitioner to get a proper diagnosis and to get a proper acupuncture points, or to prescribe the necessary herbal medicine for the patient, because the inquiry will tell you a lot of details in regards to the patient's chief complaints, the signs and symptoms, and everything that the patient is feeling within his or her body. Like for the heart, you remember that if a patient, it takes long time to fall asleep, meaning that in TCM, a patient is having a disturbed heart because he or she is like, he or she is not getting proper sleep. Like the blood flowing into the heart is like, the blood flowing into the heart to the brain is limited and constricted. Do you toss and turn all night? It's the same as having difficulty of falling asleep. Night sweat as part of like perspiration, the body fluids of the heart, meaning there is lacking of water or fluids inside your heart. Do you sweat when anxious? Anxious meaning like there is also blood deficiency in the heart, because the brain doesn't recognize that the blood coming from your heart is like limited, or like having a stagnant blood, or like in Western medicine, you're not supplementing the oxygenated blood to the brain. Frequent nightmares, recurring nightmares, it means like you're having a disturbed mind, and wake up between 1 and 3 a.m., which is supposedly that the heart should be like resting. That's why a lot of practitioner is asking or telling individuals to sleep between like 11 to 5 a.m. as much as possible, because that's the regeneration time or the proper functioning of the lungs, the liver, and the heart, which all governs or all of them are helping in the blood circulation of an individual. The next one is the heart and spirit, the Shen. The Shen is most closely linked to our Western idea of the soul or spirit. It's our divine nature and light, the connection to source, our greater purpose, and the mystery of life. All this by strong emotions and trauma, but the Shen is often strongly affected. Because in Chinese medicine, or even like in a Western perspective, you can see that the patient is like jolly, can like talk a much or discuss a lot of that is happening to his or her life in a joyful way, meaning that the patient has good sign of Shen or a good spirit, because the brain is getting proper blood, the oxygenated blood, enough nutrients, enough body fluids that is circulating all throughout the body. In traditional Chinese medicine, if you see this kind of symptoms or sign, it can mean that your spirit or like your mind is disturbed. Like if you're having insomnia and dream disturbed sleep, ambivalence, no heart, soul, and to life, inability to concentrate, anxiety and restlessness, lack of inspiration. No matter what your current status of your own heart is, you've only got one, and it needs looking after. If you're feeling tired or joyless or short of breath and dizzy, it could be a sign that your heart needs a little more taking care. This is where like the Asian Chinese medicine starts. If most of the practitioners or like in the old tradition, if they observe like these symptoms being described by the patient. Because the Chinese approach to the health and well-being is that the mind and body should be treated as a whole. In the West, we've tended to treat them separately. But now, there is a growing movement among scientists called psychoneuroimmunology, that our brain, our nervous system, the endocrine system, and immune system are all linked to each other. In other words, the mind, the emotions, and our body are entwined. The next one, in terms of the observation, if you have like a good heart, both in Western or even like in Eastern medicine, heart and the tongue, because the heart opens in the tongue. Especially, you can see in the picture that by observing the tip of the tongue, you can detect if the patient is having a problem in the heart zone. Not necessarily or a typical like heart condition, but meaning that in Eastern medicine that the tongue organ heart is being deficient or lacking of something, especially from blood and the nutrients. Because other parts of the or other organs of the Chinese medicine represents the different sides of the tongue as well. In here, on the from the heart, tip of the tongue, above of the tongue is the lungs, the lung area, which you can also see like from the tip of the tongue. And the stomach area, you can see on the midline of the tongue. The stomach also represents with the spleen because they govern the transformation and transportation of the nutrients and the digestion. And the liver, in here, the liver in the tongue, it's mostly seen on the side of the tongue, on the edge of the tongue, the liver and gallbladder. And the root of the tongue, which is on the back of your palate, more on the kidneys and the urinary bladder. In here, it says that language expression and sensation are dependent on the normal functioning of the heart. Imbalances in the heart can reflect on the appearance of our tongue. If the heart chi, blood, yin, and yang levels are balanced, the tongue appears to be pinkish-red in color. The tongue body is soft and flexible and has sensitive taste bud. Because lately, in the Philippines, we can observe that a lot of individuals like to eat meat. Of course, it can affect with their thermoregulation of their bodies. But one of the signs you can see or you can reflect in a normal observation, maybe at home, even with your friends or like your family, is coming from the tip of the tongue if it's become red, meaning there is a heat inside of your heart. That's why taking too much meat can cause a heart heat. The next one, more on the stress and emotions creation cycles manifested by the heart. And the organ which heart has an interrelationship in traditional Chinese medicine is the small intestine. Because for the emotion, heart houses the joy, the happiness. But at the same time, if the heart has some negative emotions, it can reflect with the hate, cruelty, and impatience. Of course, stress, anger, plus hate, plus impatience, plus cruelty, you can have like symptoms like palpitations, high blood pressure, and chest pain. That's why in Eastern medicine or in traditional Chinese medicine, a lot of people or a lot of practitioners telling them that, of course, you practice like a positive mindset. I'm thinking, always start your day with a happy heart, like by smiling. Here it says like, smile to your heart and your organs to enhance the positive emotions. Because the heart, if the heart has some imbalances with the emotions and the stress, in Western medicine, it causes you a lot of inflammation in your body. The cortisol level is getting high, meaning a lot of pain and stagnant blood will increase as well. Here, there is some Chinese saying that we can reflect in regards to a happy heart. The ability to connect with others, to have meaningful relationships, and living a fulfilling, happy life is the essence of a happy, healthy heart. The path to joy is living with wisdom and purpose, seeking truth in all things, and having meaningful connections to ourselves, others, and the planet. This means that an individual is having a good Shen, having a good Qi, at the same time having a normal, proper functioning of the heart channels in Eastern medicine. But at the same time, we can say as well in the Western medicine. Okay. The next one is, I'm gonna share you some of the diagnosis patterns in the heart channels in traditional Chinese medicine. But for this, of course, this slide are suggesting you some of the healing foods and tips for you to be able to avoid this kind of deficiency syndrome, or like this diagnosis in the heart or the heart organs. For the heart yin deficiency typically means it's more on the body fluids is lacking inside the heart. Some of the symptoms are like insomnia, memory loss, excess dreaming, feeling hot, night sweat, red cheeks, red tongue, and teen rapid pulse. In regards to pulse diagnosis, an experienced traditional Chinese medicine practitioner is the one who are able like to describe the kind of pulse the patient is having. For the emotions of the heart yin deficiency, the irrational behavior, despair, and stress. For the healing foods for you to be able to heal the heart yin deficiency, or maybe like avoid having heart yin deficiency, are like the wheat germ, wheat berries, mung beans, oysters, goat milk, cucumber, and apple. For you to have to not have suffer from heart yin deficiency, avoid coffee and alcohol, because coffee and alcohol are like hot in nature, which can cause heat inside the body and consume your body fluids. The next one is heart qi deficiency. Heart qi deficiency means that your heart is lacking of energy, meaning walang gana si heart, like to function. Symptoms are palpitation, sweat, when nervous, fatigue, chest pain, and pale face. The emotion is nervousness, madalas kabahan. The healing foods for heart qi deficiency: carrot, winter squash, sweet potato, barley, date, nutmeg. Carrot, winter squash, and sweet potato are the most common we can have buy or are accessible in our market. The tip for not having heart qi deficiency is small frequent meals are best and cooked food. The next one is heart blood deficiency. Blood deficiency meaning that your heart is not having enough blood supply inside the body. The heart is having a hard time to pump the oxygenated blood. Symptoms: insomnia, memory loss, dreams a lot, pale face, fatigue, and pale tongue. Emotion is depression. When we say here the emotion is depression, in Chinese medicine, it is a severe or chronic case because all of the emotion, not only coming from the heart, but the other sangfu organs have the dysfunction. And it's hard for an individual like to manage this kind of like mental health condition. For the healing foods to avoid heart blood deficiency is taking sprouts, leafy greens, spirulina, legumes, royal jelly, and shiitake mushroom. but at the same time drinks a lot of fluids. Because when we observe here in the Philippines, a lot of people tend to drink a lot of coffees, milk tea, juices, because after eating meal, they prefer something sweet and something cold, and they forget to drink a lot of fluid, which is very necessary for an individual to have not to have a blood deficiency. The heat inside the heart organ is deficient, so a patient suffer a lot of cold symptoms. In here, palpitations, cold body, water retention, fatigue, chest pain, slow and weak pulse. The emotions are depression, mental despair, but at the same time, you can have the healing foods lump, butter, liver, cinnamon, onion, garlic, pumpkin, barley, and oat. But for heart yang deficiency, it's okay to take butter in moderation, because too much intake of butter or dairy products can cause dampness and phlegm inside the body. It can occur also dysfunctioning of the spleen and the stomach organ, especially for the transportation and transformation of the nutrients. The tip for not having heart yang deficiency is avoid having raw foods. Don't eat a lot of raw foods. The next one is heart blood stasis. Heart blood stasis, it means too much blockage inside the heart organ. The symptoms are stabbing chest pain, palpitations, angina, purple lips, and tongue. For the emotions, irritable and impatient. The healing foods is eggplant, vinegar, chives, leek, aduki bean, peach, and rosemary. For you not to have the heart blood stasis, avoid sweets and greasy foods, because the phlegm and dump can cause blockage in the blood vessels. Taking sweets and a lot of greasy foods, like blockage of the sugar, too much sugar in the blood vessels. At the same time, it can cause too much cholesterol. The next one is phlegm in the heart. The symptoms is foggy head, nausea, poor focus, greasy tongue, coating, slippery pulse. And phlegm in the heart, meaning that the phlegm is disturbing your shen, your mind. The emotions, drooling, talks to oneself, mental confusion. For the healing foods, it's rye, amaranth, corn, celery, lettuce, pumpkin, turnip, brown rice, oat, and mulberries. For you not to have phlegm in the heart, avoid all dairies, peanuts, refined foods. Do not drink with meals. Phlegm fire in the heart. The symptoms, the fire meaning like the heat coming from your other parts of the body, other zangfu organs, are like consuming in the heart organ. So you can have like feeling hot, red face, crimson tongue with greasy coat, slippery rapid pulse. The emotions are violent behavior, manic, and shouting. The healing foods to avoid phlegm fire is celery, watermelon, dandelion, chamomile, and spirulina. For tips, avoid alcohol, spicy food, and red meats. But of course, we cannot say avoid totally the spicy foods, because spicy food can also give you enough yang qi inside the body. But take all of this consideration that everything is in moderation. Okay? The next one. This one is more on like the demographics in regard to the heart condition like worldwide. According to the Centers for the Disease Control and Prevention, heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States. Some of the risk factors include inactivity, an unhealthy diet, smoking, inadequate or poor quality sleep, and uncontrolled stress because of too much inflammation in the body, too much cortisol. The picture only shows here the different kinds of heart disease in the Western medicine we encounter, from coronary heart have different kinds of diagnosis based on the different constitution of an individual. At the same time, following the 4 pillars of diagnosis in traditional Chinese medicine performed by a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner or an acupuncture physician. There are ways to support your heart health, especially in Chinese medicine. The color associated with the heart is red. Therefore, red foods are seen to nourish the heart. Most are considered warm in nature and are used to nourish blood, improve circulation, and build young or fire energy in the body. You can observe here that a lot of food having red colors like the watermelon, the tomato, the onions, the goji berry, like the kamki, like the strawberries, can boost your heart condition. Other one, since in here, heart, the color represents red. The element in the 5 elements in TCM is fire, and the direction is south. Here, red beans, dog meat, plum, and citrus fruits. But acidic foods control the heat in the person's body, therefore helping the heart. For the tart cherries, vitamin A, tomatoes, lycopene, red lentils, protein, beets, betaine, strawberries, vitamin C, the kidney beans, the fiber, and red potatoes, the B6 and potassium. You can take this kind of like red veggies and fruits for you to be able to have a good heart condition, at the same time can supply you enough blood inside the body. Another one, benefits of Chinese red dates and the goji berries. I put these two specific in traditional Chinese medicine because the red dates and the goji berries represent also as a Chinese herbal medicine. At the same time, you can observe the colors are red, which is very effective for you to nourish the yin and blood and the qi inside your heart. The benefits of the Chinese red dates that aside for consisting a lot of nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, it can tonify the blood, it can help with indigestion, helps with anxiety, helps with insomnia, and boost the immune system. Always consume in moderation, limit to maximum 10 red dates a day. Overeating may cause bloating and diarrhea. But at the same time, you can use it also as a tea, the Chinese red dates. Just put it in warm water, maybe like 2 to 3 pieces of it, and then when the hot water is become warm, you can take it as a tea. The goji berries, or in the Chinese community, they know it is like more on the kamki. Kamki, the goji berries. The goji berries are being used as well in different kinds of soups, especially in the sibut, if you are familiar of that. At the same time, being used in gelai, which is gelai in terms of after a first-time mom or a mom have given birth to the child, they take a lot of warm, nutritious soup in the gelai process. The benefits of the goji berries are you can have an antioxidant of it. It can tonify the yin, qi, and blood as well in the heart organs, but at the same as in the liver, spleen, kidney, and the lungs. It can promote weight loss through increased calorie burning. It can improve your heart qi or your energy level, exercise performance, and overall feelings of well-being. It can lower your total cholesterol, triglycerides level, and increase good HDL cholesterol. Most of it is boosting the immune system by increasing the white blood cells responsible for protecting the body against harmful bacteria and the viruses. The Chinese red dates and goji berries are a good combination for an individual to boost their immune system, especially in this time of the pandemic. The next one, an arm workout. Why is it important? Because we have discussed that the channels or the pathway where the heart meridian is in the arm. The heart meridian starts the axilla or armpit and runs along the side of the arm, terminating at the corner of the nail bed on the baby finger. For this reason, exercises, stretching, and strengthening the arms are the most beneficial to the heart. You can observe here in the picture. The next way to support your heart health. This is meaning like reaching the sky while like sitting in an engine seat. Breathe evenly. Raise both hands above the head as if lifting something heavy. Exhale when the hands are up and inhale when they are down. Repeat 10 to 15 times around the left wrist and do the same. Also repeat 10 to 5 times. In this reaching the sky position, you can feel that your breathing is more relaxed. That you achieve like, you can also feel a normal blood circulation when you perform this reaching the sky pose for having a good heart functioning. The next one you can do for your to dark chocolate because the heart taste represents more on the bitter. The heart responds well to bitter foods as they slightly cool to the body. Try to include more of the following into your diet: parsley, mustard greens, kale, dandelion greens, collard greens, burdock root, coffee, buckwheat, capers, cauliflower, celery, chocolate, citrus peel, endive, ginseng, grapefruit, green tea, lettuce, lemon balm, spring onions, turmeric, watercress, and white pepper. Because in TCM, or a lot of practitioners, they can observe that most of an individual here in the Philippines, when they come to a TCM clinic, most of them suffer from a heart heat. Heart heat meaning a patient have a lot of stress, being angry a lot of times, or consume a lot of meat. So, it's much better for you to control the heart heat by trying to slightly cool down the body. But the best food for it is taking bitter food, especially more on the vegetables and the fruits. The next one is rest during the heart energy times of the day. Because we can see here in the photo, between 11 to 1 p.m. is the time of the heart in the TCM circadian rhythm. Between this time, the heart has functioning of a proper blood circulation, a person has a high energy, and this is during lunchtime. If there are emotional or energetic issues with the heart, tiredness may well hit between 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. During these hours, it is best to relax if you are able. Take a siesta and enjoy lunch. That's why an Eastern practitioner suggests that after taking a lunch, maybe a 20 to 30 minutes nap, maybe 15 minutes nap, you can have it. So for you to have your heart get relaxed. Try to avoid stress, intense exercise, caffeine, the one which is with too much coffee, or anything else that raises your blood pressure. Between 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. is also a key time to protect your heart energies. So use this time to relax if you can. Ideally, avoid eating at p.m. Okay. 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. is the same. Why? Because from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. is the pericardium. But we can say that the pericardium in Western medicine is the covering layer of the heart. So from the covering layer of the heart, it also helps you to have the normal balance or the normal blood flow in the heart organ. The next one, Gua Sha on your hand and arms. Gua Sha typically terms on scraping away the disease. But in here, doing Gua Sha on your hand and arms is more on local stimulation, which can unblock or drain the blockage or the stasis in the heart meridians. But at the same time, it's not only the heart meridian you're gonna stimulate while doing the Gua Sha, as well as the lung meridian, the pericardium meridian, the small intestine meridian, and the Sandiao meridian, which they have like interrelated functions with each other.
In this video, I'd like to share with you, you just need to settle our heart down, settle our mind down, and just get into that flow state. This is a very, very simple exercise you can do to help release any of that tension that's in the chest and in the heart and in the mind. So you can just start by being comfortable, finding a comfortable position. You can be seated while you're doing this exercise. Sit comfortably. You can sit upright if you like. Just try not to slouch while you're sitting, and just get comfortable in your body. So the exercise is your hand comes up the center of the body and it turns forward and pushes away from you. Hand comes down and back to the center of the body. So hand comes up, turns, pushes forward and down. So we'll do this with one hand, and then we'll do it with the other hand, and then we'll do it with both hands at the same time. It'll really work the noodle. Okay, so if you're all ready to begin, let's just take a few deep natural breaths. Just breathe deeply. Just begin to let your body unwind, let your mind calm down, release any excessive thoughts, any excessive tension, anything that's unnecessary from your body and your mind. Good, now let's begin with your left hand. Left hand comes to the center of the body, a little bit by the belly button, comes up the center, turns at the heart, the belly, come up, turn, and forward. So making a nice big circle. Try to relax your shoulder as you're doing this. We'll do it 9 times. Just breathe where it feels natural. Try to clear away any tension that's in the center of the body, center of the chest. Let any worries go, any excessive thoughts. Try to feel that warmth in the center of the body. Feel yourself relaxing, unwinding, feeling like a wet noodle. Good. 3 more. Good. Without stopping, go with the other hand. Your right hand up the center, turn, push out, relax. Center, coming up, turn, push away, let your hand fall down. So at all points throughout this exercise, your hand feels full. So at no point does it feel like it's loose and limp and lifeless. We want to have life even here. Gently drop the hand, but keep that fullness in the body, in the hands. We want to have fullness and energy without tension and tightness. delicate balance. Good. 4 more. Breathing in, out. Breathing in, out. 2 more. Breathing in and out. Last one. Breathing in and out. Now, without stopping, add in your other hand. One hand comes up as the other one drops down. And push as your one hand pushes away, one hand comes up the center. Now you can just do this one, just go ahead and do it and find a natural rhythm. You want to make sure, you want to have that sense of connection in the body. You don't want to feel loose and uncoordinated. You want to feel as if your body's moving as one whole. Good. Did you find the flow? I think you did. If not, just keep trying to find that flow, find that rhythm. It's in there somewhere. Good. 3 more. Bring your attention to the center of your palms. Keep your awareness, keep that mindfulness in your body at all times. Keeping the shoulders relaxed. Feeling the heat, feeling the warmth, radiating throughout your body. Good. Relax your hands. Come back down. Let your hands down to the side. Take 3 deep in-breaths. And release. Last one. And breathe out. And you're all done. If you've liked this gentle, simple approach to Qigong, please come join us in the community. Here we have many different types of Qigong practices that we're always adding to. Some of them are short and simple like this, and some of them are a little bit longer, but there's lots of different variety. We also have a question and answer section where you can submit questions and I can attempt to answer them, and a warm, wonderful, welcoming forum that you join us, and if not, at least join our newsletter video. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comment section below. Did you feel any warmth, any tingling, any fullness, or your hands like a little fuzzy, like generally.
This one is the last thing we can do for you to improve your heart condition or have a proper functioning of heart qi or heart blood, heart yin and yang in traditional Chinese medicine. Because practicing Qigong, a slow-moving martial art, is very effective for stimulation of the free-flow of energy and blood throughout the body while breaking up the stagnation that might be present. It helps maintain the strength and flexibility of all the joints, including the spine. You always remember that in Chinese medicine, it's all about treating the body as a whole. Remember that the philosophy is that any disease starts with the disruption of energy flow. So I might suggest that all of you, for you to have a harmony heart condition, a normal blood flow, might as well do a lot of like exercise or moving, meditation, avoiding stress, avoid foods that can cause you a lot of blockage and dysfunctioning of the Tsang organ. And that's all in regards to how to take care of your heart in traditional Chinese medicine. Thank you for your time, And I hope you get some or a bit of like learning in regards of how the TCM is crucial or very effective in diagnosing and treating different heart condition in Chinese medicine. Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much, Geraldine.